verses 5 through 14 teaches the suffering produces humility and patience. We have therefore the suffering of Christ in the past and the present suffering of the saints. And when we have the second coming of Christ, and then we have the second coming of Christ. Every Christian ought to have the second coming of Christ in his plan and his program for the future. We are often told that we need to have a life plan. In the second coming of Christ, when he comes to take you out of the world and then return with you and reign on the earth, a part of your program? Or is it some ethereal or ephemeral thing which hangs out there in space, while a will-o-wisp, will-o'-the-wisp that really has no meaning in your life at all? His second coming is not just a doctrine, it is something that enters into our lives. There is nothing which will buoy you up in time of trouble or and suffering like the reality of the second coming of Christ. I am going to see him someday. I'm going to come into his presence. That what a time of a real blessing that will be. And Peter tells us that our present suffering is related to that. This is quite a contrast to the message that we had last night. I think that he was out of line and off key, but uh, I'll keep it up on YouTube and Facebook as it is. This this next section is entitled Suffering Produces Service and Hope, verse 1. The elders which are among you I exhort, who I am also an elder and a witness of the suffering of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. First Peter chapter 1 and First Peter chapter 5 and verse 1. Peter began by asserting his position. However, he doesn't call himself even an apostle here. He is speaking of the fact that he is an elder who am also an elder. That means there were other men who were elders. The Greek word used here, presbyteros, is a word which is sometimes used to speak of a person who being an elder or older person. The Greek word which is translated bishop is episkoros, and it speaks of the office of the man, not the person of the man. It is the spiritual office of shepherding. The same word is used for shepherd. This is all that Simon Peter ever claimed to be. He calls himself a fellow elder. He never claims a superior place above his brethren, but as a fellow elder, uh, ex- he exhorts them, and a witness of the sufferings of Christ. Peter was in a unique position because he was a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. In the past, Peter saw that glory in his second epistle. Peter qualifies this as taking place on the Mount of Transfiguration. Peter saw him die yonder on Mount Calvary, and he saw him transfigured yonder on Mount of Transfiguration. That mountain was probably in the north, and and I have always felt that Mount Hermon could have been the place, although the geographic location is not important. What took place there is important, and Peter says that he was a witness of it. However, there is a glory that is coming in the future, which will be greater than that, the glory that shall be revealed. And if you don't mind,